Hey everyone, just want to take a minute. Today I was absolutely inspired. I met somebody that was just truly a great guy. He was exactly what America is all about. I was out doing my work and he was a customer of mine, and he comes driving in, brand new car, pretty new car, and he was just so excited. Here's this man that's about 40 years old, living in a beautiful home, a really nice neighborhood. And it was just excited. He's like a little kid. He's around 40-ish and just so excited. I'm like, well, what are you so excited about? He said, this is my first new car ever. He goes, for 20 years, I've been taking over my friends' cars, when they're getting ready to dump them, or if, a relative or somebody, their car dies and they don't want to fix it, so they go buy a new one. He goes, I go get their car and I fix it up and buy it and sell it, or buy it and drive it until it dies. And he said, we finally bought a new car, and I started laughing, and I said, you live in a $500,000 home, you live in a beautiful neighborhood, how have you never bought a new car? And I just wanted to know. And he said that when his wife and him got married, their goal was to buy a home. And he said that he had a job before he got married. He's been working in the same company for 17, 18 years. He said when he first got started this job, he got a lot of promotions and everything was going good. He was moving up and up and up. And he said about 8 or 10 years ago, he just stopped getting promoted, barely got cost of living raises. He said they didn't even take care of cost of living. He said, but what him and his wife did from the day they got married was they took their tax returns every year and they just put it away. Didn't look at them, didn't think about it, just using that to save up money to buy a home. They said when the housing market crashed, they thought, this is our chance to go and buy a house. And they're out looking at homes, and they're like, man, these homes are so cheap. And they bought this house that they live in now less than half the price of what it's worth right now. And so they put their whole down payment, everything they could down on it. They got into the house. He said it took them almost 5 years to get the house furnished. And he said every month they pay an extra $100. They put away their tax. Every time they get their tax returns, they put that directly into the principal of the home. And even people in the neighborhood, he's a very handy man, so they come to him and they say, hey, we need to do this and this. And he goes, do you know anybody that can do it? And he's always like, I can do it. And he said he picks up a few $100 extra a month on that. And I said, what motivated you to buy a new car? And he said, well, my company started leaving the last year. They went out and got new jobs, took different jobs, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And he goes, so I started looking around for another job. My bosses found out and they promoted me. And he said, then he goes, I got this new job, new position, a little bit more money. And he goes, and I was kind of worried because my checks weren't right. And he said, my wife's checks weren't right. And he said, so I actually went into the payroll department and said, what's going on with my checks? These aren't right. These aren't the right amount, and I'm getting paid too much. And they told him, they said, well, there's been tax cuts, and so you get more money. And he had no clue about that. So while we're talking, I'm out here listening to my talk radio. And I started laughing because Nancy Pelosi calls this tax cut crumbs. And I looked at him, I said, well, you understand that they're trying to take away your tax cut. The Democrats are, I said, Nancy Pelosi, he didn't even know who she was. I said, Nancy Pelosi calls these crumbs, and she said the first thing that they do when the Democrats take over the Congress is they're going to repeal the tax cut because it doesn't mean anything to you. And he looked at me and he goes, I've always voted Democrat. And I said, well, it's okay, these are just crumbs, they don't mean anything. He said, this isn't even all my tax cut. He goes, I pay for this car with the tax cut, and I have extra money left over to put down onto the house. And I said, do you even understand that unemployment's at full employment, so you literally could go almost anywhere and find a great job? And he goes, no, I understand that. My company understands that, and that's why they're keeping me. And he goes, I didn't know unemployment. And he turns to me and he goes, I'm a black guy, and black guys have a hard time getting a job. And I said, black unemployment is at the lowest it's ever been. And he said, no way. He goes, how can that be? He goes, Trump is a racist and all this. And I just started laughing. And he's like, what are you laughing at? I said, if Trump is a racist, then why is the black unemployment the lowest it's ever been? And I said, you need to pay attention to real news. Don't watch CNN, don't watch ABC, CNBC. And he said he doesn't watch any news. And but everybody just tells him that Trump is a racist. It was just really funny. I mean, this guy, he just motivated the heck out of me. This week I just opened up a retirement account for myself, and I'm really working hard to, even if it's $500 a week, put something in there to save for my retirement and my future. I've given away all my money the last few years, and it's time to get back to work and work for myself. But this guy inspired the heck out of me. Here he is. He's been driving, piece of crap cars, living in a $500,000 neighborhood. Just the most amazing man. It is the American dream. And this guy is what so many people in America is all about. They just go out, work hard, do what they can do. This guy knew enough to save. He also knew enough, and I'm really impressed, he knew enough that every time he gets a tax cut, or tax return, just to put it right into the principal of his home so it can get paid off early. Anyway, just, America is at a level it has not been in since the 80s, and I am so excited to be alive right now, so excited to be able to do the things that we can do and the opportunities that we have. I know my liberal friends don't believe this. They are so caught up in the hate and the, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. If you can just open your eyes and see what is going on in this country, it is absolutely amazing. We are living in a time right now where you can do anything you want to do, and I just challenge you to go out and do it and make it happen. Anyway, this guy's awesome. And he did make sure he told me, he said, it's not a brand new car. He said it had almost 5,000 miles on it, so I got $7,000 off. Anyway, have a great time.